Peace, family. Out here getting some reading done. I like to walk around when I read. Right now, Book of the Dead. Some of y'all may have read it. A lot of people haven't. I haven't. But I felt it was time. I've been getting deeper to the spiritual work, and I think a lot of people, when they read the Book of the Dead, they're not really... Yes, sir. What's up, Salvi? What's going on, bro? You still eating dumbbells over where you at? Yeah, a lot of people they'll read spiritual books, but they're not really at a you can read like a high level book, but if you're not ready mentally, physically, or emotionally, you're just not ready, then the information ain't gonna do much for you. So I feel like I'm ready, so I'm reading that. But besides that, what I've noticed, what's going on in the world right now is it's nothing new. It's just another cycle. And I'm not worried about the cycle. I'm only worried about the source. I'm only worried about the spirit of things, because all physical things that you see comes from a spiritual source. That being said, yes, you physically have to deal with things. Even prayer is a physical thing that you have to do. And you physically have to sometimes put your hands on somebody in order to protect yourself or protect your loved ones, or, get the effect that you need. But at some point, you got to deal with the spiritual realm of things. That's why at some point, everyone goes to church. At some point, everyone gets on their knees and pray. At some point, you ask God for help. Or you ask him or her, you ask him why. At some point. At multiple points. Instead of making it a practice. Now, you can use any spiritual system. It really doesn't matter. As long as you understand how the essence of the spiritual system, and don't get caught up in the trying to make it reality, trying to make it real, trying to make it too real, trying to make it literal. That's the word. Trying to make it too literal. Try to make these spiritual concepts and religions and practices too literal. You'll go down a rabbit hole that is not going to be useful, right? So you just need to understand the essence of it, the concept of it, the metaphor of it, right? So the main concepts to all religions, to all spiritual practices, is to unburden yourself. That's the whole point of all religions, all spirit, is to unburden your mind, your heart, your soul, your body, to unburden it. You unburden it, one, by living a certain way. That's like, they give you like a basic premise. Each one gives you like a basic premise. And two, by unloading these excess spirits that are on you. Now, some of the basic ones would be like the spirit of fear, the spirit of worry, the spirit of sadness, the spirit of depression. These are all spirits. All of them are spirits. There is the creator, which is living through you, does not want to experience, at least not forever, does not want to experience the negative side of things. It creates perfection, harmony in its original creation. Just like a child, when it's born, a healthy child, you would assume, is born perfect. And then over time, it becomes burdened with these other energies that make it not so perfect or unhealthy or maybe a problem child or whatever, right? So these are spirits. All these negative things you see. And when you can start putting things in that type of perspective, then you can go beyond the race part. Now, that does not mean you still have to pay attention to the race part, though. Just like you got to pay attention to a lion is a lion versus a zebra, versus a grasshopper. You have to pay attention to these things. You have to pay attention to, a husky, which is a type of wolf, right? A domesticated wolf versus a wild wolf. They're both wolves, but it's not necessarily the same wolf. So you got to pay attention to these things. So just like that, you have to pay attention to the different types of species of things. You do have to pay attention to different races of people. You have to pay attention to them. Why? Because we all have different biological makeups. And because we have different type of biological makeups, our interaction with spirits are different. Just like our interactions with the sun are different. The sun is a big ball of spirits. Or memories or information, light. So, that being said, these spirits, especially the negative spirits, affect us differently. Some of us have more protection against them than others because of biologically. So, now the spirits of like the negative emotions, as far as like fear, pain, trauma. Okay, those are one set of spirits. But then you got other spirits with like actual like names, like Adam and Eve, like Shiva, like Ra, right? So any protests where I am? I mean, they had like a little protest a couple of days ago. Nothing too serious though. It was pretty chill over here. Virginia's not, too hype. In certain places they a little hype, but even the protests are going to be different in different cities based off of the the spirit around that city. The United States of America has a certain type of spirit that was brought with it here by those who run it. The dominant group of people who run it, who've established America, was based off a certain spirit. That is why no matter how many years go by, no matter how much quote unquote change happens, the problem can't be fixed until you fix the spirit of it. There's a certain spirit, and that spirit is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a false spirit. It's a lying spirit. It's a dream. It's a dream spirit. What do they say? They say the American dream. Everyone's trying to live the American dream. First of all, the fact that they're saying that in the first place, dream, anything dealing with thought, imagination is spirit. That's a spiritual realm. It's the American spirit. So what's the American spirit? What is the dream? Well, the dream is that you could be anything that you want, but that's not the reality. And when you have dreams, you notice that you're not really in control of your dream. It's very rare that you're in control of your dream. So if it's very rare that you control your dream, then it's very rare that anyone is in control of their life in this dream. What got me into spiritual readings? When I learned about 2 years ago, after reading a numerology book, while owning a spiritual shop, or co-owning, I should say, I learned that my life path was a 7, and the 7 deals with spirituality or music. And since I had already kind of shied away from music and was going into the speaking route, the spirituality part, it just kind of called to me. So I was like, well, let me dive deeper into this, because at first I didn't get into the spirits like I am now. But I learned that numerology is a type of spiritual practice. I learned that astrology and zodiac signs is a type of spiritual practice. And I was like, well, I could be into that, because that stuff, it makes sense to me and is closer to the physical world. So I'll start with that. And it wasn't until recently, maybe like sometime last year where I started getting more into like burning sages and doing prayers, things like that. And then once I was able to once I had some interactions with some spirits through another person who was acting as a medium, and I had these face-to-face conversations with them directly, then I was like, you know what? I started getting pulled more and more into it. And now, then I got someone did a whole regression on me a few months ago, breaking a spiritual contract, and ever since then, now I'm all about it. Do I get a reading or a vibe? Well, the extent of my abilities at the moment, I'm not going to pick up typically from a vibe to someone on IG. Now, if I pull up my cards, I can pick up some things. Hold on, where my cards at? I got it. I can pick up things that way. So I'm kind of like a hacker. So like, some people just wait to see what, I guess, God gifts they give them and just, go off that. But me, I'm like, let me just find some tricks where I can like just hack into my own subconscious and figure some things out. So I can do it through my cards. Hold on, let me shuffle them up real quick and see what I pull up. What's that? G Kim 22. Hold on, let me see. So yeah, I got them right here. So appreciate it, Mayalani. And I'm messing up. Maya. I'll go with Maya. So Gia Kim 22. Let's see what we got. So it looks like, hold on. So it looks like you, at the moment, you're in a point in your life where you are desiring some type of attention from some masculine energy. It could just be just right now because I'm on here with you. Could be that. It was kind of vague. I'm gonna go to a better question. It's important to ask the right question. Sometimes the questions are not on point. You can get a vague reading. So whenever you're dealing with a reader, make sure they're asking like good questions. Because I'll admit when sometimes where I'm just like, you know what, that's my vague question. It could be, I don't want to give you a poor answer. So let's go with Kim 22. I'm going to ask, what is your heart's biggest challenge? That's one of the readings that I do on my tarot readings. It's one of the questions I ask. What's your heart's biggest challenge? Okay, well, love is your heart's biggest challenge. Probably being the love sacrifice, or giving yourself up, or maybe you have a hard time, or maybe you find that when you're in a relationship or people are not giving to you. You know, maybe you're the one that's giving, you're not able to give back to you. You don't feel like you're getting reciprocating. So it's either you are having trouble giving yourself up full-heartedly, or people are not reciprocating what you're giving to them. So the question is, well, how do you overcome this challenge? Well, you got to find the proper friendships, proper partnerships, right? Still kind of vague. So the question is, how do you find the proper friendships and partnerships? Through like creative communication. So probably through expression. You need to, okay. So it is love. Okay. So the way that you're communicating, you're blocked. What's up, Mia? Lion. So the way that you are, you're not fully expressing yourself. Maybe you might need to write, might need a journal or something. Maybe do poetry, something. But you need to open yourself up in your communication. It's very. I'm glad you could join us, Miss Lion. You need to open up your way of communicating. You need to express yourself more. Let me see if I can tap into why you're having a hard time expressing yourself. Hold on, let me prop this up. Why you keep losing your job? Okay, hold on. Keep losing your job because you're supposed to be an entrepreneur. So the energies, the universe is trying to push you towards entrepreneurship. Is there a business that you've been working on, or you wanted to work on, that you want to try, or something that you wanted to get into? Now, I say for you, entrepreneurship, it's not necessarily the truth for everybody. Sometimes a person might lose their job because they're not healthy, or they're not, maybe they need to get in touch with certain spirits or something like that. But for you in particular, you're meant to run your own business of some sort. Own a coffee shop or something. I really don't know. I understand. It could be difficult because the spirit realm will push you in certain directions, and we don't know what the answer is. We don't know. And it's not so much that they're not clear, it's just that we are not clear enough to hear. So then we get confused. But right now you're in a state, okay, now you need to start thinking. So, I mean, I could try to see if I can, maybe the coffee shop's a thing. Okay. It's not necessarily going into a coffee shop direction. Well, when's your birthday? If you can tell me your birthday, I might be able to help you out a little better. And as you're working on that, I'm confused about everything in life, my health and life. Okay. So the fact that you're confused, well, you're not the only one. A lot of people are confused. And the reason why we're confused is, once again, the makeup of America is confusing. It's confusing. It says one thing. It says the dream is this. It says that, it's about equality. It says it's about justice for all. It says all these things, but then it does not operate in such a manner, and it never has. This is a confusing spirit. It's a confusing dream. This dream, the American dream, is one of confusion. And until we fix the spirit of this country, we will forever be in confusion. So the question is, how do you fix the spirit? Well, start individually. So I individually work on trying to fix everyone's spirit. And then teach people how to do it. That way it can spread. Because obviously I can't reach everybody. So April 23rd, Taurus, right? What year? I can already see it has something to do with communication. You definitely want to be involved in something to do with communicating with people. I could definitely see you in counseling people. Counseling people, doing a nonprofit or something, or 1990. Okay, so 10, 19, 1, 6, 10. Right, so you're definitely supposed to be in a leadership position. In that position, your business should revolve somewhere around helping people as far as maybe with like the relationships. Maybe something involved with speaking. Say you're a follower? I understand. Well, Tauruses, it can be tough for a Taurus because Tauruses are observers. They sit back and watch and see what's going on, take in all the data and information. So lead through writing. Be a writer, be an author. That way you don't necessarily have to lead an entire, group of a whole business of employees, but just be an author. You can lead people that way. Be a poet. I know you could. I know you're a good, researcher. So, what do you want to research? What would you like to write about? Now, like if I'm helping a client to try to find their purpose in this manner, I would have to go deeper. I would have to look at your karmic chart maybe. So this is just like surface level stuff. Your life struggles possibly. That's fine. If you've overcome many things in your life, write about that. As I was saying though, it's only sometimes I can like really pinpoint it, and then sometimes I need to go deeper in. That's why I have my services where I do karma readings. I do birth chart readings, so I can see your whole birthday. I can see what your north node is, so I can know what sign you're supposed to master, and I can like add that to pinpoint what you should do and things like that. I can look at your, your oracle reading and see what your energies are for the year, so I can push you in the right direction. But then you might have a heavy spirit of confusion on you. So then you might need to do a clearing just for that. I mean, you do need to do that, but you might not necessarily have to do it in order to find it if we do a different method, but a spiritual clearing where I'm breaking the spiritual contracts that would cause confusion or fear or worry and second guessing yourself and all of these things. So you were a smoker. Are you still a smoker? Did you overcome the smoking habit? Did you overcome the diabetes? Maybe that's the thing you need to do. Maybe you need to break those cycles. Maybe you need to start researching on health, on how to reverse your diabetes, on how to, break the habit of smoking. You can get chew sticks to help with smoking. And then you can research people like Dr. Laila Africa. Get some of his books. Watch videos from Dr. Sebi. Watch videos and get books from Dr. Ali Muhammad. Okay, so then, you want to go through the healing phase. And if you get healed, then guess what? And learn how to heal, then you can become a healer. And that can be your business right there. I mean, that could be the route. It's a good chance that's probably the route. But first you got to heal. It's difficult to get on your purpose and on your path if you're too broken or too sick. We got to heal to a certain extent. So like me, I work with people when it comes to health, when it comes to checking their relationship chart with their relationship partner, when it comes to karma, when it comes to breaking spiritual contracts. I do all these things. So if I'm doing all this basically spiritual healing for people, I have to then be healing myself. I have to be healed to a certain extent myself. And I'm constantly working on my diet, my exercise, as well as my daily habits, my prayers, and doing the spiritual cleansing of myself. And then not only doing it, but improving upon it, finding better ways to do it, listening to my spiritual guides, listening to get more information, more wisdom, right? So that I can become a better healer, or so I can walk in my purpose more effectively. Look at that moon. That moon look nice. It's a purpose for me being right here at this moment with the moon shining like that. That's the spirits talking right now. The fact that the moon is like, it actually looks like a hawk. The clouds look like a hawk. And who does the hawk represent? It represents Haru from the Egyptian text. Haru represents the soul, represents the awakening. Haru represents, that portion of you that's tapped into God, or tapped into the all, tapped into the creator. I mean, you dig? But if I wasn't doing the proper healing work, I probably wouldn't have seen that. Wouldn't even noticed it. Maybe I would have saw the moon, but I wouldn't have saw the light. Look at that. It looks like the soul within the soul. The moon is shining within Haru. It's crazy. The psychic told me there was something wrong with my lungs. A few years later, I began a stage of pneumonia, but I took meds. It was gone. Okay. So you took medication. All right, so I'm coming at it from a health standpoint and from a, you see the hawk, right? I'm coming from the full moon's coming up too in a couple of days. I'm a come from a health standpoint and from a spiritual standpoint. First off, all things in the physical represent the spiritual. So, like when people have like generational curses, or when they see like spirits and they want to get rid of it, they might call on Jesus or something, they might pray or whatever, and that energy will be suppressed. It'll be suppressed sometimes for maybe a good amount of time, sometimes for just a very short period of time, but it's suppressed, but it will come back because you have to face it for what it is. You have to deal with it and you have to heal it the proper way, not just suppress it. So, medication, what does medication do? Medication doesn't cure anything. Medication suppresses things. So you took the medication and it suppressed the issue. Now it suppressed it, it may have suppressed it good enough to allow your body to no longer feel it, and maybe to even allow, so that and then allow your body to, okay, so you might have, when you're sick, you're going to get symptoms of that sickness to let you know that your body's trying to fight it and trying to deal with it. And then we can take medications to suppress our own immune system and the signaling of that sickness, so that the sickness is still there, but the signaling to your brain that is there is no longer being felt. Therefore, you feel fine. And you'd be like, oh, it went away. But how did it go away when medication doesn't kill anything? Medication just suppresses your own immune system so you don't feel the symptoms anymore. And then this is why a couple years later, you get sick again, or you get sicker, or you find that the situation has gotten worse. They might call it a different name. Now they might call it cancer now. But it was cancer to begin with. They just called it something else because it wasn't to a certain level of sickness yet. So they don't call it cancer. They was going to call it pneumonia for right now. But then when it gets worse, then we'll call it cancer. And then instead of facing it for what it is and taking the proper steps to heal, whether it be spiritually and through, eating certain things, you might suppress that with, chemo or radiation or something. But you never dealt with the issue in the first place. Why is the sickness there in the first place? It's because your body is not functioning the way it's supposed to. Therefore, sickness arises. A disease cannot arise, or cancer cannot arise if your body's healthy. It just can't do it. If everything is functioning properly, that's actually a better way to put it. If everything's functioning properly, if something's not functioning properly, that means something is blocked physically, which also means it's blocked spiritually too. Do you think I have lung cancer? I mean, you probably don't have lung cancer in the way that they describe in the way that they're looking for it to be lung cancer, meaning their definition. Actually, let me scratch it. Yeah, by their standard, whatever standard they're using, you probably don't have lung cancer by their standard. But do you have lung cancer? Without me looking into anything, you probably do. To be honest, you probably do. Like I said, but by the standard they're going by, they're probably not going to call it cancer right now. But they'll probably call it cancer later. Will it be any different than it is right now? Nope, it won't be any different. So if it's not any different, that means even if they say, a couple years from now, oh, you have lung cancer, you already got it right now. Which means you're okay. You're okay. It's not just killing you just like off the rip. Like no, you're okay. So I don't want you to panic by me telling you that you probably have cancer right now. Yeah. If your body's cold, that means that the energy's not flowing through you properly. It's stuck. It's stuck. When we eat healthy foods, the food doesn't turn into your body. It just stimulates your body. But if you eat the proper foods, why do you eat the proper food? Because the proper foods have the proper spirits in it that are not going to latch onto your body and siphon from your own spiritual energy. It's going to add to your spiritual energy. It's going to help it flow. That's all healthy food is. It's just good spirits going into your body. That's all it is. So when your spirits stop flowing because you got too many bad spirits on you, a lot of it comes from bad eating and bad habits, your body's going to get cold. Or it can go the other way. It can overheat. Both extremes are not good. No, it's fine. Ask the questions. That's what I'm here for, to answer the questions, because I want you to know the answer. The more woke people are, the more you understand about. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I was born to do. This is my purpose. So I have no problem answering the questions. This is what I was born to do. It took me a while to get here, but I am here. So now I'm just sharpening, my tools. But the more people that I help, the better world I get to live in. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You want to live in a better world, we shouldn't just focus on trying to make my own personal world better. Because as you can see, you can do everything you want to do for yourself. And then you got things like COVID-19, and then you got protests, and then you got, things getting shut down, and you try to build this world around yourself and let everybody else just do their own thing, live their own life. And that's the American dream. That's how the American dream works. Live your own life. Don't worry about the next person. Do your own thing. And then when stuff starts to hit the fan around you, it affects you. It affects your life. Some people can get away with it. Maybe they have, they might be able to do something online or whatever. But a lot of people, they suffer from it. They had a good life and then they start suffering. We got to help everyone, including ourselves and everyone around us, release these spirits. Release our spiritual body, our soul. We gotta get released. That way we'll all live in the real dream that we're looking for. And if that is affect, oh, hold up, okay, no, I missed it. This is more personal. I was at 14. I want to know if you got a reading on that now, and if that is affecting my future. Okay, so I didn't look up to see if you were molested. Does it affect you? Yes. I was molested, so on multiple occasions, actually, from different people in different ways, not necessarily through penetration. So it affects you. It puts a spirit on you. Sometimes it puts multiple spirits on you. A lot of times it's multiple spirits. And because we don't have a system for healing, true healing, those spirits, they dwell on us, and yes, they affect the rest of your life. The rest of your life. Until you get rid of them. Now, if you live long enough, sometimes just by proxy, just by time, you'll get to a point of enlightenment, or you get to an epiphany, or you'll get enough life experience where you'll just let go of the trauma. And by proxy, you have broken the contract. But see, the problem with that is not everybody comes to that conclusion. Most people don't. And if you do come to that conclusion, it could take 20, 30, 40, 50 years before you get there. And by that time, your life has been, spent now. It's like you done missed so many of the good years of your life because you waited so long, and it has burdened you so much that you might have gotten rid of that spirit, but then you got all these other spirits on you now that have piled on top. So, yes, that trauma is affecting you now, and it will affect the rest of your life if you do not deal with it. The fastest way to deal with it in real time is either through meditation or do like guided meditations, like I give guided meditations, or spiritual cleanse, right? Which I also do. It's a ritual basically. You could do it yourself as far as like the meditate. You can meditate and do it yourself. I do it myself all the time. You just gotta know what you're doing. It could be challenging. You got to be able to navigate through your own mind to find the spirit and have them give you the contract and break it. That's all you got to do. It sounds simple. I've had people, I've explained it to people just like that, and they've done it. Not many people, but a couple of people have done it. Some people are gifted enough. But until you break that, you are going to struggle. You're going to have your ups, just like everybody's going to have ups, but those downs are going to come. So it's very important. It's just like, as long as the spirit's on America, it's going to keep having its ups and its downs. It will keep having good times and bad times. It will never get to that place. That concept that, it's 2020. When are we going to get over this? When are we going to, when is racism going to die? When is it? It's not going to die until you kill the spirit. You have to kill the spirit. This is why I don't worry about the blackout, the Black Lives blackout. I'm not worried about the protests. I'm not saying I'm not against anybody who does it. I feel you. I feel it. I feel the intention behind it. I feel it. But you gotta deal with the source. You gotta deal with the spirit. If you don't kill the spirit, it's pointless. I won't say it's pointless, but it's not gonna get you what you want. Not truly. Okay, what kind of spirits do I think you have? Okay, you have good spirits and bad spirits on you at all times. The good spirits can cause trouble just like the bad ones, though. Because the good ones, especially like when it comes to like molestation, the good ones will step in to protect your psyche so that you don't break as an individual, so that your mind doesn't break. So it'll step in to take some of that blow, some of that trauma. But then a lot of times, since you don't go through that healing, you end up creating this relationship with this spirit that's a continuous. Okay, so when you let the spirit step in, that spirit has to shut down certain aspects of yourself. It has to shut down parts of your being in order to protect you. Basically, you know. And when we don't heal from it, that spirit stays around. We're talking about good spirits right now. That spirit stays around, and it'll continue to keep jumping in the way, even when things are good. When you get into a relationship, or when even stuff dealing with family or something like that, these good spirits will keep jumping in the way to protect you because you never healed. So it thinks it needs to get in the way all the time, and kind of messes stuff up. Now, when it comes to like bad spirits, those are going to be like, especially the ones when it comes to like addiction, like the cigarettes, for instance, or bad eating habits. They definitely show up then. Those spirits, like one of the spirits, like you probably, I would have to like check my cards, but I'm sure you either have a contract with Diana, who's, I think she's like one of the lost books of the Bible, maybe. But yeah, she's like from one of those Bible books. Diana or Lilith, which is her sister. Adam or Eve. Maybe the serpents. Judas. Maybe Mother Mary. Maybe Jesus or something. But one or probably a few of those characters are going to be some of the spirits that are associated. Pretty much every person that I've done these cleansings for, one of them is involved somewhere. And you dealing with like things like molestation and stuff like that, yeah, they're gonna be involved. Like Lilith, you would call, I would put her like as a bad spirit. Judas wouldn't be too good either. Does anyone else have any questions before I go? That's pretty much it, though. As above, so below. You want a reading? Okay, Miss Lion, hold on. Let me pull my cards out. You could be nice and mean. Yeah, you probably got a contract with Diana and Lilith, if that's the case. But then again, I mean, you got a strong Gemini in your chart as well. You're born on the 23rd. 2 + 3 is 5. 5 represents Gemini and Virgo too. Yeah, just reach out to me. Just DM me. We'll set an appointment. We'll get it done. So, Miss Lion, Okay. So for Ms. Lion, first I asked, are you following your purpose? Make sure there ain't no bugs on. Are you following your purpose? And the answer is no, you are not following your purpose. But at the moment, it looks like you're not really looking for your purpose, so I ain't too worried about it. You know, you're living your life. So it's not a big deal. You don't necessarily have to be living your purpose all the time, you know. So if you're not in if that's not the state that you're in, hey, you'll do your thing. You know, I'm not gonna tell someone they gotta get on your purpose. Like, you know, if you're just having fun or just, you know, living your life, you know, do that. And when you're ready, let me know and I'll show you what your purpose is. So now, your heart's biggest challenge for you is being a wife. And the way you're going to overcome that challenge of becoming someone's wife is by finding a man of wisdom and power. Now that's important for him to have both, the wisdom and the power. Very important for you, probably because you have very, you know, I know you're a Leo, I believe a Leo, right? I think you're a Leo, so, you know, Leos like power, so it makes sense, you know. But the wisdom is also what's going to, which is going to make sure that man, you know, treats you or doesn't take you for granted, and helps to elevate you as well as help you to be on your purpose, to find your purpose, you know. Yeah, I hope that was clear. Did you have any questions on that? So what is your purpose? Okay. So this won't give me the exact purpose, but I can like get, you know, like I said, I'll have to do like a karma readings and things like that. You know, like birth chart readings, but I can get a feel for it though. The life path of one, okay. That's another one, just like Miss Kim. So leadership is definitely being a trailblazer. That's definitely part of your path. Okay, so your purpose has something to do with basically, it has something to do with helping men become, it has something to do with creating like a new like industry or a new concept to help men basically become better men. to help men to be reborn, to help men to be, to be better men, better husbands, better fathers, things like that. I'm not sure exactly how you would do that, but but that's part of your purpose, is to actually help to make men better men. Maybe when you find your husband, that will give you the blueprint and allow you to be the expert on this is how a man's supposed to be. And you do classes, maybe, and you're doing speeches, or you're doing, maybe you can do it through music. I mean, there's different ways you can do it. You don't have to do it just through speaking. There's different ways you can do it. You can be creative with it. Sure. What's your question? What's your other question? Kim 22. Hold on, I dropped my stuff. Go ahead, Kim 22. If you got your question, you can put it in. Oh, so I got like 2 minutes left before the live goes off. And Ms. Lion, I'm not quite sure if the it's not telling me that music is the thing, right? But I don't have enough time to figure it out. What about my cough? I've been coughing a lot, even before smoking. Yeah, so I mean, your immune system, Kim 22, it's already, you didn't receive the proper immunities coming out the womb because you had a C-section, because your mom had a C-section. You got the cord wrapped around your neck. That created a trauma just off the rip right there, which makes it harder for you to express yourself. So your throat chakra is blocked. That already shows that probably has something to do with your past life as well. So, yeah, all of these things play a factor. And the fact that you always had a coughing problem, that's a throat chakra thing. We're talking about the throat chakra. So, it's all spiritual. Yeah, Miss Lion, I'm running out of time. I couldn't figure it out for you.